Good morning, everybody. Dennis Engelbrecht with the Family Business Institute and the CEO Roundtable Program for Contractors. Thanks for tuning in. So in our Roundtable program, one of the big things we're looking for is lessons learned. And the best lessons learned are those learned by somebody else that we can learn from without the pain and punishment that oftentimes comes with those lessons learned. So I've been, reading in the various industry publications, and lately there have been a couple of really big lessons learned that hopefully all of you can learn from. So the first one's actually from a couple of years ago now, but still big enough and important enough that we should be reminded of the lesson learned. This is about a construction company called Carillion, a public company headquartered in Great Britain, did a lot of work in Canada. But in 2018, Carillion went under, and it went under very quickly. So we're talking about a $6 billion company here. And from 2010 through 2017, they reported profits every year, usually around $200 million. Sounds like a nice bucket of profit, right? Well, in 2018, let me come back. This was late in 2017. All of a sudden, they issued guidance, and they were taking a $1.3 billion write-down. All right, that was the sum of all of that project over 7 years, from 2010 to 2017. That was all of the profit they had made. They lost. All right, and in this case, we're just recognizing in one announcement an entire $1.3 billion hit. So I told you it was a public company, and the capitalization of the company before this announcement was a little bit over $1 billion. Within a week, its capitalization was down to like $50 million. And then a few months later, they actually were out of business, and not just the Chapter 11, went into liquidation, completely went under. So what happened there? Well, the primary thing that happened is in taking that write-down, they were recognizing project losses that, in a lot of it, probably should have been recognized before, but they weren't. So once they dug deeper, they found more and more issues, and they had 3 large projects in particular that accounted for a good portion of loss. And those projects were, I think 2 of them were in the 300 to 400 pound area, and one was in the $700 million pound area. So 3 big projects that took a lot of hit. All right, so let's track back now just maybe 3 to 6 months. Same publications, Fluor, largest construction company in the world. Most recently, about a month ago, I think it was, they only lost $225 million last year on $15.7 billion in revenue. The good news is that $225 million loss was down from $1.5 billion the year before on $17 billion in revenue, or almost 9% loss. And now this is Fluor. Fluor is probably, if not the most respected, certainly one of the most respected and considered profitable construction companies in the world. So what happened? Well, again, in that $1.5 billion loss year, they had delayed their annual report because they found issues. And what they found going back is approximately one half of that, about $900 million, were issues of job cost projections again, where the profits weren't predicted correctly in the past. And now that we've really dug into it, we've come up with some greater losses and project issues than we had previously recognized. So again, a big hit there from profit projections. Now, recently, Granite, another $1 billion plus company is reporting some fairly substantial losses, and they, in their annual report, several quotes here. One, potentially misleading information given to create their financial statements. Forecasts were not always prepared to reflect the most probable outcome. Forecasts sometimes reflected aggressive or optimistic projections, achievable targets, or management directives, or hoped for efficiencies. All right, so 3 stories, all just basically news in construction. 3 large companies taking losses, and those losses sort of coming on them late or being sprung on them because of poor profit projections. So all of you are doing profit projections out here. So the big lesson learned, obviously, number one, jobs can take losses, companies can take losses. Those losses can put you under or significantly damage or hurt your company. And, we're in a world, in a business of risk, in the construction business. But the key pieces that come from each of these stories was the lack of really disciplined and accurate project projections. So the lesson learned for you is you need that discipline and accuracy in your business. Keep in mind, there's nothing more important that you do on a monthly basis than your job reviews, your job cost reviews, and taking a very disciplined approach to those, projections, and as an organization, being conservative in those projections, not aggressive, not looking for hope for results. Be careful that your management is not sending the message that your project teams are supposed to give you hope for results versus conservative or accurate results. What happens in that case is you create a culture problem. That culture problem is the problems don't rise to the top until too late. And in construction, when the problems arise too late, they've cost you much, much, much more money than they could have or should have. So your culture needs open, honest feedback, and you create that with the discipline and the messages that you send. So don't let these losses from Carillion, Fluor, and Granite go without a lesson learned for you. Be strong on profit projections and project reviews. Again, Dennis Engelbrecht, Digging Deeper.